Do the Raptors have enough core talent to begin building from the middle, or do they need more talent to even begin that process with the end goal being obviously championship contention?
So I think this upcoming season is going to give us a lot of answers. The most important thing for this is for Scottie to take another jump. I know he's already taken one jump this year and made the All-Star level. I think one All-Star level player is not going to be enough to even go past 1 or 2 rounds. All right. I think most importantly, you need an all NBA level talent. And I think Scottie has the talent to do that, but you need to see the pop in another step in either scoring or becoming like a scoring slash hub type of star, like a Jokic type. I think I have a lot of optimism, but I also do have some doubts on that front. I think that it is probably the most difficult jump to make. And this upcoming season will be the very, very best time for that to happen. I think the other part, besides the core piece, which is a star player, is do the Raptors have enough two-way players to realistically look at contending? And I think that on that front, there's going to be individual improvements needed to be made by other guys. Like, Emmanuel Quicklin already wasn't that trusted defensively by Darko this season. How much more can he improve on that front? Because Darko did a lot of hiding of Quickley, right? RJ was just kind of okay on defense. Maybe there's a potential to get more on that front. Grady, we all know that he can be targeted defensively. Scottie's really your only two-way option. And when you look around, the Minnesota success, for example, a lot of that is they got so many two-way type of players. And same thing with Boston as well. And of course, Dallas made this jump not only because they have Luka and Kyrie, but because they added a lot of strong defenders. Where are those strong defenders for the Raptors? And so I think when you take a step back and look at it, yes, we're really anxious to get back to that level where the Raptors are back in the playoffs, but like most rebuilds take longer than 1 year. And we're kind of like half a season into the rebuild, right? The rebuild started when they traded OG and they traded Pascal a month later. And so it's actually only been like half a season. Let's give it some time, but I think there are some key steps to be taken. Raptors and championship contention in the same sentence right now is just it's a little far-fetched. It really is.
Yeah, the only time you're going to hear the Raptors in championship contention on the show this season is when we recap the 2019 championship season.
Let's do more of that then.
Yeah, can I ask a follow-up question to that, Mr. Welcome?
Yeah.
You talk about Scottie Barnes, obviously, taking a step and needing to take additional steps. Like now that we've seen him for a few seasons here, I know when he first came into the league, there was a lot of different comps, like, oh, maybe he just ends up being a Draymond. And then people were talking about, oh, maybe he can be like an all-around hub, like a Giannis. You talk about Jokic. Like, do you have a comp for him right now? Or do you have like, oh, this is the type of player, in over the next few years, I eventually would like to see Scottie kind of become? Like, is there an ideal version of Scottie for you?
I think there's like a post-hub version of Scottie. I think that's harder to do right now because you need Scottie to score for you, not just create a lot of the offense. I also think that like being the hub is fine, but you probably need a lot of great spacing around him. And like it's hard for him to be the hub when Jakob's also out there. Like one of the ways to use Jakob on offense is for him to be one of those hubs on offense. I think sometimes he shows you flashes of Giannis, like that brute strength, that ability to overwhelm his defender physically. You see a little bit of that. And you see obviously a lot of like nice playmaking and secondary creation and things like that, using his versatility, whether that's screening, whether that's handling, whether that's setting, screens in the pick and roll and things like that. Like he has that. And then also he has a bit of that mid-range game that comes out once in a while. Like you it's definitely not the first option for him, but we know he has a mid-range game as well. And yeah, I think it's just finding a consistency about like when to use each option and then also honing each individual option, so it's hard to say. I don't think there's an exact comp for what Scottie, a fully actualized version of Scottie, is in the league currently, but there's elements of different stars for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Welcome. Next question. There are many ways to win it all, i.e. having a top ISO score in a system to get others open shots and layups, or a top playmaker surrounded by 3 and D shooters. Which way do you think the Raptors should go, or does it really depend on whether IQ and Scottie Barnes improve as scorers?
Well, I mean, look, this problem solves itself if they make huge leaps as scorers and just offensive players in general. We all know that they already have talent, but it's about taking the next step, right? And both of them would probably need to go up a level. I do think I have more concerns with Quickly in a playoff setting that I guess we would have to get back there to even test that theory out. But last time the Knicks made the playoffs, before this season, obviously it was previous season before this, Quickly shot 35% from the field, averaged 1 assist per game and 9 points. Now, granted, he was banged up. Like, it's not like the full extent. It doesn't tell the whole picture. But, I think when you look at the overall picture, there just aren't a lot of small guards that thrive in the playoffs. We've seen that even in Toronto, right? The first couple of runs when Kyle and DeMar were going into the playoffs. I don't need to remind you how ugly some of those games were. But on the flip side, I think RJ has actually shown a really strong track record. Again, like, if you take out the really bad first game he had of 2023 playoffs and the really, really bad last game, I think he was like 1 of 10. In between, which was like 10 games, RJ was 22 points a game on 48% shooting and 36% from three. He has like a real physicality to his game that I think really holds up in the playoffs. And I think that's another reason why I'm confident in Scottie on that level as well. But yeah, these guys all need to take jumps. Like, that's what Darko is here for, and that's what development really means.
All right. Next question for you.